Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's edition of the program. 13 out of 83 candidates have passed Elecam's selection test to run for the October 12, 2025 presidential race in Cameroon. Some rejected candidates are gnashing their teeth and constituting petition files to table at the Constitutional Council, the only other institution that can adjudicate on the matter. The selection test of elections Cameroon has left an air very tense, and there are visible preemptive signs to control any situation should there be any public protest. Apart from that, there are several other stakes that can emanate from the selection. That is Elecam's decision. For example, we ask, can elections Cameroon reject a candidate and the Constitutional Council restore them, and vice versa? That will be a hot debate in the days and weeks ahead. On Press Hour today, we shall also examine how the diaspora can give back to their country. This is Kilian Ndandifon, and you are watching Press Hour. You are welcome back. Our topic today is on the presidential poll of October 12, 2025. That is in barely 2 months and some days and some weeks. And the question we are asking after the publication of the list of accepted candidates by Elections Cameroon is, what are the stakes? Can the Constitutional Council, the higher constitutional body, restore a candidate that has been rejected by Elecam? Can the Constitutional Council reject a candidate that has been accepted by Elecam? That is what we are going to handle as the first topic on this program. But as time goes on, we're also going to look at the diaspora and see what they can do to give back to their homeland. We have the following guests for you on today's edition of the program. Barrister Fombat Mujem, barrister at law. You're welcome to Press Hour.
Thank you, Kilian, and good morning to all our televiewers, and good morning to our co-panelists. A special good morning to Professor Mbarika. Congratulations for a nice organization of a graduation ceremony of ICT University yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kilian.
Moi Patrick is desk editor in the Guardian Post newspaper. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you very much, Kilian.
Yes, Barrister Fombat was just talking about Professor Victor Mbarika and congratulating him on an event, graduation of ICT University. He is the president of the board of trustees of that ICT University. He is a Cameroonian diaspora based in the United States of America. He is going to contribute meaningfully to the two topics. You're welcome to Press Hour, Prof.
Thank you so much, Kilian. It's great to be in a country where there are laws and we can vote.
Exactly.
So it's,
now
thank you.
We're going to introduce another diaspora. He is a multinational diaspora, Leon Amala Brooks. He has been here several times on Press Hour. He is here again. His ideas are usually very incisive. You're welcome, Leon Amala.
Thank you, Kilian. Thank you very much for bringing me to your program once again. And I think we're going to have a good debate. Topics are very interesting. We believe that Cameroonians want to see something happen, so we are here to do something.
Yes, we are here as usual to say something interesting to our viewers. And at this moment, we invite Emanuela Vemde, who has been reading the newspapers in our slot press review. Emanuela.
Newspaper columns are flooded with happenings around the October 12 presidential election in Cameroon. Biya's candidacy, humiliation for 30 million Cameroonians, according to erudite global governance icon and expert in African democracy, Dr. Christopher Fomoyo, in the Guardian Post. The media sees a fragmented opposition to challenge Biya in crucial polls. With many aspiring and few to qualify in municipal updates, over 30 candidates are reported to have deposited their files for the upcoming presidential election in the Post. 31 to be more precise in Cameroon Insider and counting. Breaking News Bileng presents the faces of some of these candidates, from Joshua Osi of the SDF to Akere Muna of Univers Party and Ateki Caxton Setter for Liberal Alliance Party. Before Kamta's bid via Manidem ticket rattles Yaoundé in the Voice, and in no time the number of candidacy files submitted at Electoral moved to over 70 in Cameroon Tribune, pushing the Guardian Post to write aspirants turn presidential race into comedy. Overwhelming files which moved to 83 in Cameroon Tribune before the Guardian Post reports that Biya, Kamto and Akere risk disqualification as contrary to Article 121 of the Electoral Code. The political parties on which tickets they have submitted their candidacies have more than one aspirant. But the interest of the Horizon is on what it writes intellectuals demand action from international community on power capture by Ngongo and co. Retired diplomat Nkwenti Ignatius then proposes sweeping reforms like a return to two-state federation, rotatory two-term presidency with 5-year mandate, and lots more in the Guardian Post. At a time, Barrister Neko Hale identifies rigged elections, discrimination and corruption as core roots of hate speech surge in The Voice. Atanganji brandishes dagger at troublemakers in the Guardian Post, warning that government will not tolerate repeat of 1992 presidential election-type violence. The Post newspaper quotes Joshua Osi, Cameroon will be liberated on October 12. CRP's Foliga Lang then woes electorate with juicy shadow cabinet post in the Reporter. Elecam is then set to unveil official presidential candidate lists on Saturday, July 26 in The Voice, and all eyes are on Elecam as scrutiny of files to begin in The Sun. What Cameroon Insider describes as Elecam begins scrutiny of record 83 candidacy files. At a time, the National Communication Council suspends Lopopoli for 6 months over Atanganji Pope envelope allegations in The Voice. The Guardian Post goes further to add that the National Communication Council suspended 3 media organs, 4 journalists, and warned others. Prime Minister Head of Government Joseph Diengute then lays foundation stone for the Misole di Bamba Industrial Port in municipal updates. Cameroon Tribune emphasizes that the project will decongest the Douala port and will cost 230 billion CFA francs, expected to create 500,000 direct employment. Just when Paul Biya gives orientations as 2025 budget is in preparation in the same paper. 3 presidential decrees then appoint SDOs and DOs and a Secretary General of the Governor's Office in the lone bilingual daily. Common law lawyers are reported on brink of renewed showdown with government following appointment of notaries in the Guardian Post. Until I come your way again, this is your Hour with the Press.
Thank you so much, Emanuela. And ladies and gentlemen, on Press Hour today, we are looking at the 2025 October 12 presidential election in Cameroon. The Elections Cameroon, the elections managing body, just published a list of 13 candidates out of 83 to run for the 2025 presidential election, meaning about 70 candidates were rejected. Now we want to look at the stakes. We already see the air is tense. That's one of the stakes. We want to see some other stakes. And we're going to ask Patrick to start with some of the stakes.
Okay, thank you very much, Killian. I think when it comes to the stakes, all of us are aware that this exercise doesn't just end at the level of Elecam. there's still one last opportunity for those whose files were rejected to seek for redress. I'm talking about the opportunity of petitioning the Constitutional Council. It's provided by the Electoral Act or the Electoral Code, if you want to call it that way, in Article 134, that actually gives 72 hours to those whose files who do not feel comfortable with the outcome of the Electoral Board of Elecam. They have 72 hours to do so. So beginning Monday, we may start seeing some of those petitions flooding the Constitutional Council, which is, of course, the apex electoral tribunal, so to say. And we expect that some of those complaints could be addressed properly. Because at the level of the Constitutional Council, there is that hope that candidates or aspirant to the post of president might have the opportunity for a fair hearing, given that they will have the opportunity to be heard in the presence of their lawyers who will plead the case for them. And, it's quite different from the Constitutional, from Elecam, where you merely just submit their documents, and sometimes the ruling might not really be the best, because I have the same feeling that maybe some of the outcome at the level of Elecam wasn't quite appropriate. But I'm not here to judge on that. But I think that, like I said, the aspirants who are not comfortable have the opportunity to seize the Constitutional Council. And just to considering jurisprudence, we have had cases where actually files of candidates, not necessarily for the post of president, but for other elections in the country, rejected by Elecam, be reinstated by the Constitutional Council, not the Constitutional Council, but the Supreme Court that was sitting before in lieu of the Constitutional Council. I'm talking about taking an example of 2013, when the files of parliamentary candidates for the MRC, for the Funde Division, the Upper Plateau, and even in Wuri East, they were reinstated by the Supreme Court, then sitting in for the Constitutional Council in 2013 rather. And we had other files too of ANDP that were reinstated by that the Constitutional Council, the Supreme Court ordered the Elecam to reinstate the file. So we just hope that if it has happened before, maybe at lower level for local elections, it could happen again. I just think that I have a lot of trust in the Constitutional Council, but unfortunately, I do not find Elecam really credible in terms of how they manage electoral issues in this country. Elecam is not entirely independent, because if you look at on Friday, prior to just a day before the release of the list of candidates, there was a list that circulated, and we had the same 13 candidates. It was a leaked document. So you start talking about it, actually that kind of move actually puts the integrity of Elecam at stake, because we will not imagine that a member of the Electoral Board of Elecam will leak that kind of sensitive document. And when the results were released on Saturday, it was the same names that we saw on Friday in the leaked document. This time around, the only difference was that the names appeared in the alphabetical order, but they were the same 13 names. So I have the impression that Elecam is working with a lot of external influence, because we have had government ministers in this country who have hit the table to say that this particular candidate or this particular Cameroonian would not be candidate. And it ended up being so. So, in all honesty, I think Elecam has a lot to borrow from other independent electoral bodies across Africa. I don't want to cite examples of countries out of Africa, but if you look at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission of Kenya, for example, they work with some level of, they have some independence in terms of the way they manage electoral matters.
That up to today, they're still rioting in Kenya.
No, for something else, for economic reasons, but not post-election issues.
Not necessarily.
No.
During elections
there is no perfect system.
Which we have,
there's no perfect system in the world. That's why it's coming from the US. We have had post-election.
You do not stigmatize Cameroon, and then you give an example in Kenya where
an example of near perfection. An example of near perfection where there is independence of the electoral body.
No, we have had protests in Kenya for the last,
for economic reason, economic hardship, not necessarily because of the outcome of the election. Let me tell you one thing, Kilan.
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this on what you have said about Elecam. You still know about WikiLeaks, which has gone round the world. It's not in Cameroon. Those were classified information in a big country like the United States of America. We have had so many other leaks. We have spies all over the world. And when you pin it down to Elecam and then talk about
you're just picking one among the several issues that I raised. I'm saying that the list that circulated, it was intentional. I must tell you that it was intentional to test the grounds, because when it circulated on Friday, discussions around was like, okay, now finally, if Kamto is not, you want us to start calling names. The point is, it was intentional leaking that list. And the fact that it came out, all 13 names that circulated in a leaked document are actually the same names that were actually declared by Lekam is not mere coincidence. It was a well-calculated arrangement to test the grounds and to be sure that should, in case this candidate is not on the list, what would be the outcome? And that's why we see soldiers all over the place.
Do you know why we call some people analysts in every subject? An analyst in a subject can sit back, analyze the situation, do projections or predictions, and it will not be different from what will come. So when you
are you saying that the document just came maybe from the blues?
When you talk and then talk about Lekam globally that way, it doesn't actually sound.
It's just one among the several concerns that I have or that Cameroonians have in terms of the position of Lekam.
We will give you time to talk about.
Don't give the impression Lekam is not an independent body.
We will give you time to talk about other concerns.
Of course.
Now, Barrister, you are a legal mind. Patrick is talking about certain things, not actually quoting any source. Talk about the stakes in terms of, as he has raised. Can a candidate be rejected by Lekam and restored by the Constitutional Council? He quoted some examples. Let us be talking about the context, the present context.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Killian. I think the Constitutional Council is like the judge of Lekam. It is a judge that appreciates and sees whether Lekam did a perfect job. And if you look at the section 125 of the Electoral Code, it clearly states that when Lekam publishes the list of candidates retained for the elections, presidential elections we're talking about, any candidate, any political party, or any government official representing any person representing government in that election can petition Lekam for one of three reasons. One, either because Lekam rejected a candidate and the petition is for the Constitutional Council to see if they can reinstate that candidate. The petition could also be that Lekam admitted a candidate wherein the petitioner thinks that that candidate was not supposed to be admitted, or even with regards to the choice of the colors, because sometimes candidates choose the colors for their campaigns and there might be a clash. So a candidate can also petition that a color that has been retained for a particular candidate is not appropriate color, maybe because it's causing prejudice to that candidate, to that petitioner. So, to answer your question, yes, the Constitutional Council can redress, can alter the decisions of Lekam, either accepting or rejecting a candidate.
Now, when you look at the list that was published by Lekam, what's your reading on that list?
Well, the list published by Lekam, well, I think that Lekam has followed the criteria laid with regards to the qualification of candidates. There might be some questions marked. What we might not be able to decipher on this program is that Lekam gives the list, publishes a list of candidates retained, and now Lekam has to notify to each of the candidates whose files were rejected, the reasons for the rejection. So where we are now, we can't really say this candidate was rejected for this reason or the other. The individual candidates
they must have already been notified.
They are supposed to have been notified, even though I will use the opportunity to decry one particular aspect, which goes a long way to put some question mark on the fair play of Lekam. If you look at section 125 of the Electoral Code, the candidates have 2 days to petition. Those who intend to petition have 2 days to petition from the date of publication of the list by Lekam. Lekam is supposed to publish the list
on Saturday.
Yes, let me come to yes.
He talked about the 2 days, actually 72 hours.
Yeah,
in English, it's so precise, precisely stated.
Yes, it's 2 days. So, if they publish, and Lekam has 60 days before election date to publish the list. If you draw back from the date of election, you see that Lekam had up to the month of August to publish that list.
13th of August.
Yes. So if you publish a list on a Saturday, you have taken off a Saturday, which is not a working day. You have taken off a Sunday, which is not a working day, which means tactically, those who want to petition, they have one day, which is not good. Why didn't you carry the publication to Monday so that people have their 2 working days to be able to petition? And you can imagine that people have to imagine a petitioner who is resident in the north, far north of Cameroon. He has to travel to Yaoundé to file the petition. For those who are, if it was to those who are residing in the English-speaking region of Cameroon, that has traveling problems on Monday. So I think that if I were to, in the position of Elecam, I would have deferred this publication to Monday, so as not to give room for anybody to suspect that Elecam is indirectly trying to play an obstacle from people exercising their constitutional right of petitioning.
Yes, Leon Amara Books.
Yeah.
You've been following the issues on the ground. You are based here now. Your take on this?
Well, just like anybody else, I followed the lists that Elecam published yesterday, and I was quite surprised. But I know that there is still a chance of anything happening, hopefully by tomorrow. As the Minister said, with 1 day left, I wonder whether anything could be done again. But I have to say that there is a chance for one of those candidates. Because I look at the list, you had about 18 parties that could appoint somebody. Is that correct? 18 parties?
That could 5 candidates.
Yes, 18.
Okay, that could 5 candidates.
18, yes.
Of which you have 13. Now, the question is, were all those people selected member of the 18 parties?
No, some were independent candidates.
Independent candidates.
Okay.
You also have not only 18 as such, someone from a different party or independent party can be invested by just one elected official, council level, regional level, chamber, of commerce or that.
Yes, so my question is, how was it possible for one party to have 2 different candidates? Is it a game being played? Is somebody manipulating the system? I don't understand. Because I don't want to mention names, but you did mention one already. How was it possible to have this people with one party with 2 names? That is quite funny. And this gives me the impression, the feeling that someone behind the scenes could be playing some games. In this process, I just want to appeal to everybody. We want a free election. We want a clean election. We want stability in the country. So I hope that Elecam would try to give another day, which is Monday and Tuesday, to have at least the time to the council to decide if there is a chance for one to be called back. If that is possible, because I'm concerned. For the first time in many years, I saw the military in the streets yesterday.
Even today?
I was at Elecam yesterday, and I had never seen so many cars and so many trucks and so many soldiers driving around the town, and I thought it was going to be a war. And I hope that if ever one is selected or not, let's be fair to our country. I pray that nothing else happens.
Yes, that there were forces on the streets is just a preemptive action. As we say, the government thinks that, like you are saying, that people expected certain things that didn't happen. You know, and wants one to prevent any public action that could degenerate, to protect those who may not have anything to do, and the action of those who are protesting could cause harm to innocent people. For example, and then I will always take an example without defending. I wonder, when we're looking at a topic, we should look at it fairly. Just about a month or 2 ago in the United States of America, when there were issues of immigration in California. You saw the National Guard came in. Those are actions. Those are actions that prevent damage.
The
before it
context
happens.
is very
Yeah,
different.
I think it's not a Cameroon.
Yeah, the context
Now
is very different.
we're going to get
I
the
want
view.
to come back to Cameroon first because I believe that don't paint the devil on the wall. I watched the Electoral yesterday. I have to say they did a good job. Nice presentation. But I still want to hear the council decide on whether they could have one or two in the list. Because people...
But we have 13.
We have 13 already, I know.
Yes.
But I do believe that most of the people are waiting for one or two candidates to be there. So we hope that there will be a change on the program to give them a chance. If there is no chance for them, you have to justify.
Yeah.
Tell to the people, this is why we couldn't have this one in or not.
Yes, that particular candidate you're talking about is a legalist. It's a sound.
No, I don't want to.
Legalist.
I don't want to mention a name.
And they will have the chance to petition, go and defend.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be that because I heard some news yesterday. But I hope there will be some change going on because we need to have this country built. So I, for one, don't want to see anything wrong in my country. I want to see all Cameroonians abiding by the laws. Each of us must abide by the laws. That's all I can say. But I want something is if you don't get selected, say to yourself, it's okay, I've lost it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Prof. Barika. Yes, your take.
Well, Killian, thank you again for this. I am excited that, first of all, we are in a country we can go out to vote.
Yeah.
And like my learned friend, the barrister, said, I believe the Electoral Code of 2012 lays down clearly rooms for disputes. If you are not happy with the results, Section 132 of the Electoral Code tells you what to do. And you should do that. You should exercise your right to go out. So the stakes are high because we are talking about the highest office in our country. The stakes are really high. I think my good friend Moa puts it that way. I mean, we are electing the person that will be giving orders to the military to do what they can do. Now, what I don't know, Barrister, is whether the 72 hours, because I've had a chance to look at the Electoral Code of the country, whether it's working days or whether it includes weekends. That I'm not sure. It's something we need to also verify. Maybe it goes up to Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't want any candidate to listen to me. I'm a professor. I'm not a legalist. But I don't think hardly any of us on this table. So we have a chance. All the candidates have a chance to petition this and have their days. Now, one thing I also want to point out before we start, because the Electoral Commission will, the Electoral Council will actually come out, the Constitutional Council, I'm sorry, will actually come out with some decisions. Yeah. And I know even those decisions will be criticized. I want to remind everyone that it's not the Constitutional Council that develops the laws. If you have a problem, go to the judicial side. The legislative side. They create the laws, and then the High Court, the Supreme Court, or the Constitutional Council implements that or interprets that and comes out with a decision. And that's why even all elections matter. Because if you don't like the way Electoral is set up, if you don't like the way the Constitutional Council is set up, start from the legislation and vote the people you want in to make the kind of laws you want.
Yes, and unfortunately for those who will be rejected, whose rejection will be confirmed by the Constitutional Council, there's no appeal at the level of the Constitutional
Absolutely.
So at that time, the decision is final. Yes, Patrick, you want to add one more point? I give you the microphone.
Okay. No, I just wanted to say that, a while ago we were talking about the decision of Electoral. It's true that because Barrister raised this, that for now we are not sure of the exact reasons why certain aspirants, they were not candidates yet. Wow. Certain aspirants were
rejected.
Yes, their files were rejected. I think we have seen a document circulating. If that document is anything to go by, then we know that for the case of the candidate for Manidem, one of the aspirants, Professor Maurice Kamto, it is stated that the single reason why his candidacy papers were thrown out is because the political party submitted 2 candidacy files.
Exactly.
Now, let's be very logical. We are all aware that not just Manidem was in that pot of soup. We had other parties like Univer, for example, on whose ticket Barrister Keremuna is running. We had the UPC.
Even has up to 3, I think so.
Yes, then the last party, I'm sure you should remind me. There's another one, MPCN party, where the young guy of the SDF, Shiwa David, was running under the ticket.
In the CPDM.
And then there's the CPDM.
CPDM
I wanted it to come from you.
Yes.
So now, 2 political parties suffered the effects of the multiple submission of candidacy files. That is the UPC and Manidem. So why is the case of Univer different? Why is the case of the CPDM different? Why is the case of the MPC and different? So now the question is, if it is on the aspect of who has the legal powers to invest a candidate, that's to say within the party, because now it's an internal affair. If there are 2 leaderships in the party, it's an internal affair, and at the Constitutional Council, all 2 leadership will come up and justify
why
who has powers to do so, who is in charge.
Yes.
Because it is just when Anise Kane openly backed Kamto that it then started, information started circulating on the social media, even on official platform, that he is not the president of Manidem. But all along, he has been considered even by the government.
Is this fact of speculation that was a reason for rejection? It was 2 candidates.
Yes.
I'm not sure we know.
No. The document is circulating, addressed to Professor Morukam from the Electoral Board.
Yes, this is what
That's out
already?
Informing him.
When
we leave the set, I'm going to present that document. Elecam has notified them as to why the files were rejected. They have notified all the aspirants.
They still have a chance.
Yes, so they still have a chance. If we're talking about the submission of 2 candidacy papers, then at the Constitutional Council, they will have a case to justify whether it's an Asede Kane or it's Donene Yemga, who is a legal representative of the Manidem party.
Have they done for CPDM too?
For CPDM, we are told that the national president, natural candidate.
We are not told the text of the party.
No, the text. We are told by the text of the party. I'm not a supporter of CPDM.
I allowed you to go to the end of your thought, but what you have said about the reason for the rejection of the Manidem, whose candidate, one of the candidates, is Professor Maurice Kamto, former national president of CRM. What you have said is circulating on CRTV. We don't quote the social media. We're going to wait to see whether that is authentic.
Exactly.
That's what I said. If that document is anything to go by, I didn't say it's authentic.
I should have even stopped you, but I allowed you because we are
just training stock to stop some of us when we are talking. So
we are just doing projections.
It wouldn't have been strange.
And then we are not supposed to.
It would have been strange. There are not many speculations.
Well, but it was not strange. I didn't stop you.
No, it's not strange. I said it's a stock in trade.
Yes.
It's a character.
And I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. But you also know that I did not stop you.
Yeah, I said for once, you did not stop me.
Okay, next time you will say I've never. Yes, Barrister, we're going to get out of this topic now with your last contribution. We'll move on to the next topic.
Yes, I think that Professor Baka's neighbor, that is
Leon Amara.
Monsieur Leon Amara
Brooks.
Not Leon Onana, okay.
Yes. Okay, so let's look at, he raised a problem as to why could a party present more than one candidate. If you look at section 121 of the section 122 of the Electoral Code, subsection 2C, the list of documents presented by a candidate for the case of a political party, it is the presentation and nomination papers submitted by the party sponsoring the candidate. So, which means if you are going under the banner of a political party, amongst the documents you are dropping, there is a letter of sponsorship issued by the party sponsoring you. Now, we take the situation where a party deposits the papers of a candidate, and that a different militant of that party brings his own papers and files. You will see that this militant has this document lacking. The
Exactly.
nomination of that party.
Good.
But now we go to a situation where there's a squabble at the head of the party, and the party maybe propose to have 2 leaders, and each leader brings the nomination candidate of different papers of different candidates. Now I think there is a vacuum in the law, because nowhere in the electoral code is it stated that if one party presents more than one candidate, both candidates are rejected. I have gone through the electoral code, there is no provision.
Wow.
And I think that is a legal vacuum. So
That's,
except Elecam and the Constitutional Council, they want to create precedents to fill this vacuum. Because normally, I think that those who were the draftsmen of the electoral code at that time never crossed their minds that parties could be in a situation where because of leadership problem, there are 2 leaders, and both leaders bring in different candidates.
That's a big problem.
Yes, that's a big problem. So we are actually at a fix, because I think that's my own view. I think that we are at there's a legal vacuum.
Right.
The electoral code is silent on that particular aspect.
That could justify CPDM.
You, barrister,
Yes.
you have taught me,
Yes.
not formally,
Yes.
informally,
Yes.
that the Constitutional Council ensures the constitutionality of the Constitution.
Of the laws.
Of laws.
Yes.
Especially of,
Yes. Yes.
of the Constitution.
Yes.
Because that's the fundamental of the
Yes.
It also means that they can use jurisprudence in the case of a vacuum and take an informed decision in the interest of the whole nation.
Yes, I think that would. Yes, I think that's the only way out. They can go by way of precedent to be able to fill vacuums left by the law.
Because I think that the list of the UPC was thrown out in 2018 for same reasons. That's because right. the UPC that's in several factions submitted more than 2 candidacy papers.
Thank you so much. We're going to move to the next topic on Press R. Today we are asking how can the diaspora give back to their country? And it also includes the fact that the diaspora should work for the peace of their country wherever they are. We are not saying the diaspora should be doomed. We are not saying they should be kind of dummy. No, we are asking how they can give back. We say give back to their country. And we have 2 eminent diasporans here on the studio, in the studio.
Kilanda 3. I'm a young diaspora. I come from Baganda, so I'm a diaspora. So don't say that there are 2 diasporans.
Okay.
I'm a young diaspora.
Once we are all Cameroonians, it's okay.
That's right.
Thank you for the distraction. Now, Professor Victor Mbarika, how can first the diaspora give back? Before I go, I will ask the same question to Leon Amala Brooks, and then I will ask you what you are giving back, and then we move it around the table.
The diaspora really, it's a very complex group because there is a sentiment in our beloved country that we are against the country or against the government, the sitting government of the country. Contrary to that, I really know so many diasporans who want to really invest in this country. Because when we talk of giving, I want to be practical. Diasporans must make money abroad, bring it and invest in the country. I have met a number of misinformed diasporans who really feel the country owes them something in terms of if they want to come and invest, maybe it's always the government should give us this amount of money to put in and invest in the country. Well, no country in the world does that. Let me say hardly any country in the world does that, except you are like Saudi Arabia with so much oil money and you don't know what to do with it. I really believe the investments we have out of the country, we can bring it in and do something. What am I doing as a diasporan? I have a project that I'm about to launch here to provide jobs for 10,000 young Cameroonians through digital agriculture.
10,000.
10,000 jobs in the next 10 years through digital agriculture. We will make it happen. We are starting in October. We've already started putting in the money. Up in Tibati, in the northwest and the southwest regions. What do we want to do? Many youths think that agriculture is for poor people.
No.
We want to make sure that we bring them to practice the use of robotics, artificial intelligence, to use them in agriculture.
Good.
And we are starting it right here in this country. I just came from Brazil and Argentina about a week and a half ago. And we are collaborating with the government of Brazil through Lavras University in Brazil, where I personally saw robots milking cows. I saw robots clearing huge lands, you know, and many of our youth would love to be involved in these technologies, but behind it, they are doing agriculture. We don't have to depend on wheat coming from Ukraine to make our bread, for crying out loud. We can do it right here. And I am excited I can say it now because we already have the document. The government of Cameroon is giving us 1,200 hectares of land in Tibati to start with. But the type of agricultural things we are bringing here will not just include large lands. It will also include a lot of greenhouse agriculture approaches where young people can finally be proud to be technology farmers. That is what the newest thing that I'm trying to bring to the country.
Yes, we are impatient to see that happen.
It's starting in October, yes.
Yeah, when you say this, we say, this is
absolutely
the speech that is getting into practice. I'm going to ask Leon Amala Brooks the same question. How can the diaspora impact their homeland, give back to their homeland, and what is your own experience?
Killian, Cameroonians love Cameroon more than you can imagine.
Yes.
In fact, if you go into any of these countries, you'll see Cameroonians who dream of one thing: collecting the best outside to bring back home. All of us. Infrastructure, housing, factories, farm, and all these things. We have dreams. And you go to the US today, you go to South Africa, to the UK, every Cameroonian, each Cameroonian, want to collect something there and bring back here. The problem is the way you find yourself in Cameroon. I can give you an experience. Just landing at the airport in Douala is terrible. Because it seems no one cares about what the airport looks like. I mean, have you seen Douala Airport? Have you landed in Douala? It is disgusting. I mean, I'm a Cameroonian, I love my country, I'm telling you. You come to Douala and see the way the airport is maintained, it is not real.
When last did you use that airport?
Well, this is about 6 months ago.
Just land in Simalen, it has good AC and everything.
Simalen is much better. What I'm saying is this.
Well, if you are coming to invest, you come and then you meet an airport that is not very clean. Does that stop you from investing?
Yes, it impacts on what you do things because you bring partners. Yes, some Cameroonians have funds, that is true. Some don't. They have partners. And you convince partners to come to Cameroon and they say Douala Airport for the first time. I can guarantee you they lose interest. And I think government will take this into consideration. That is one thing.
Killian, I want to promise you one thing. I want to partner with my brother here. If the Cameroon is a message to the Cameroon government, if they can give him and I the Douala Airport to run, we'll put our money. No, I'm not joking. But we Cameroonians love Cameroon. I want to join. Please, Killian, give me this.
Do you know?
We love Cameroon. My good friend Beatrice Dudu, an influencer, started this term Le Continent. Everywhere you go to with the diaspora, Cameroon, we are proud to say Le Continent. In Iceland, I landed. At the airport when they're looking at my passport. Look, continue. I was so happy. We love our country. But let's put money and fix Douala Airport if the government can give it to us.
On that one, do you know that?
Let us not.
That was a point.
Let it not be. Let it not be as if we're talking about the Douala Airport.
No, that was an example. The point is that we need to empower the private sector in our country. We need to welcome Cameroonians who have gone abroad and brought something good. We need to have all these young men. I can tell you, Kenyan, you will find many Cameroonians of all sectors, engineers. Do you know that at the NASA you have Cameroon, the NASA, 200 of them, 200 at NASA, Cameroonians. Okay,
this is interesting.
Do you know the best economists in Angola are Cameroonians?
Okay.
Do you know the best in Equatorial Guinea are Cameroonians? South Africa? So Cameroonians are everywhere. The dream is, I want to go back home and build something. All of us want to do that. So please, let the government welcome us and assist us. My example, the target you see now in Yaoundé, Douala, that's not functioning.
Not functioning, yeah.
I brought it.
Automated, yeah.
I came number 2.
You brought the idea?
Yes, the brought and the funding. I brought the funding, I brought the idea, I brought partners here in Cameroon. I came number 2. And a French company won the contract, Razel, not to mention them. Razel won the contract. Razel has never built a toll gate in the world. I brought money.
Do you have the equipment
of
that
course.
Razel has?
We had the best offer, technical and financial.
Okay.
So, but we lost it.
Yes.
For reasons no one can explain.
Well,
I'm
maybe
saying this
Razel
to
was
you.
first, you were second.
I'm just saying to you why Cameroonians would complain. The environment sometimes is not conducive to business.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Patrick.
Yes,
I'm going to start giving 1 minute.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
1 minute.
From your preliminary statement, it's like I was excluded with barrister, like Lekam excluded some people yesterday, because you started by saying that you are going to.
Instead of using your 1 minute, to state your point, you are using it.
No, so you started off by excluding some of us, like Lekam did yesterday. The point is, it's true that I'm not of the diaspora.
Patrick,
I'm not of the
when
diaspora.
this program started, you spoke alone for about 10 minutes.
Okay, you are not taking my time. I've not lived in the diaspora.
Go ahead, yes.
I've not lived out of this country for more than 1 month, but at least I've traveled parts of the world. Been to Europe, to Asia, and I've met Cameroonians who have been there, and sometimes we engage in discussions of this nature. I've even interviewed. When I first visited France in 2019, the 4th deputy mayor of the Bordeaux Metropole, which is like the city council, the 4th deputy mayor for African Affairs, Pierre de Gaetanjik, and we spoke and learned on issues of this nature, and they presented the obstacles that some of them face when they come back home to invest. One, our tax policies, import issues, how do you clearance, custom duties and stuff like that. But now, do you think that a diasporan, I'm sure Prof left this country at a very tender age and maybe under very conducive conditions. He flew directly from Yaoundé perhaps to Washington. But imagine somebody who has to spend 3-6 months in the desert or in the forest trying to get to Mexico to get into the U.S.
Yes.
Do you think that Cameroonian who is fleeing from economic hardship, who gets to the U.S., make money and want to invest in this country?
It depends.
No, it will not depend. Those who pass through the Sahara Desert to get to Europe will not do same because they are fleeing away from hardship. And the mindset, the notion that they have about the country is that I'm leaving that place for good, and whatever investment you're talking about is not business.
When they leave Cameroon,
so there are few cases like Prof.
There's hardship that touches them directly at that time. At that same time, they are fleeing. There are people.
They go to the death traps.
No, wait. There are people who are living well in Cameroon. If they go there and make a fortune, they will no longer be in their hardship situation.
No, you don't.
They will have reason to come back.
Anyway, it's not a matter of debate, but I don't think so.
I think that,
so we need to start addressing those things that are pushing them away from
it. I think that legally, when we're talking about diaspora, I think what should encourage them is, first of all, judicial security. If we don't have a judiciary that is very independent, you know that judicial insecurity is a discouraging factor for people to bring in foreign investment. Secondly, Cameroon needs to work on the issue of dual nationality. We have been crying this loud all the time. If we have dual nationality, then our Cameroonians who are in the diaspora with foreign nationality can maintain their Cameroon nationality and benefit. Because you take, for example, to create a company in Cameroon, if you are a foreigner, you must give 51% shares to nationals.
But
irrespective of
you're
the
very,
yes.
you're very correct.
Does
But
it- does that work?
there's more
Yes.
problem there
Yes.
is security problem, because if you have dual nationality, which will be sorted, I am told that it will be sorted.
Let's hope so.
Now, if you have dual nationality,
Yes.
with the present system, you come and commit certain crimes here, you will be saved by the other nationality. I think government is trying to sort that out, to make sure that that can be done. And we know Interpol and other multinational security systems are being put in place in such a way that should happen. I don't see, we are not seeing that government does not look at it as something which is good. They actually know, and they are working on that.
Well, let's hope, because the cry is that we should be able to have dual nationality so that our Cameroonians that acquired foreign nationality can maintain their Cameroonian nationality and be treated as Cameroonians. If they want to buy land, they should be able to buy land free without us sorting visa of the minister of in charge of land. They are creating companies. They can own 100% shares of their company instead of
You are a
giving.
legal mind, take it to the national to parliament, because it has to pass through parliament.
Yes, of course. We're
As a
talking about the
private-
law.
how do you
We're
file
talking
it?
about the law.
Yeah,
Yes.
Has anyone ever gone to?
I don't know. That's where it has to
Don't
pass.
push barrister
That's
to
what I
go
know.
and waste his time that you want to
No,
prepare a private member.
it starts like
None
that.
has ever gone through parliament.
We are going to end the last 4 minutes or so
Already?
of this program, congratulating Professor Victor Barika. We started by saying that on the graduation that took place yesterday. In 1 minute, can you tell us what happened yesterday at the conference center?
The most exciting thing that happened at the conference center for our graduation is we saw tons of students flying into Cameroon to receive their degrees. To me, foreigners looking at Cameroon as they are abroad to take their education from ICT University, coming to graduate here is a great success, because this country provided me a platform to start a university that is both on-site and online. So we had students from all over the world that flew here, joining our Cameroonian students based here to get their degrees from the ICT University, which now makes Cameroon the abroad for education for some students. And I'm thankful.
Yes, Amalan, did you watch what happened yesterday?
I did not, but I heard about it. I was impressed by what I heard.
There is someone I met there. I was invited. I went there and met someone whom you all know. We all know. He has distinguished himself. And I asked him, how come you alone, you have about 200 different awards and other honorifics? He is Ntumfo Barrister Neku Kali. I just asked him, how many exactly do you have as awards, and what are the areas you excel in, you focus on to have most of these awards? Let us watch and listen to what he had to say.
98 as at today, national and international awards, medals, distinctions, and certificates. And you know, I have 2 doctorate honoris causa. My crusade for peace, my crusade for moral rearmament. And I've always preached, like, the talking point I had today was integrity. What is integrity? What is not integrity? Because having PhDs, master's, first degree, you're an international lawyer, you're an international architect, international journalist, doesn't make you relevant. What makes you relevant is the moral platform on which you are delivering after you have left school. Moral decadence has destroyed the fabric of Africa, the fabric of each nation. God has blessed Africa with huge resources. Paradoxically, the sons and daughters of Africa are hungry, going around in what we call squalor, whereas a few people are in what we call arrogant opulence. And so we need what we call moral rearmament, to build. We should introduce that from primary school right up to universities, all institutions. Let morality, morality and spirituality be a major component of our learning.
Wow. You offered him the lifetime.
That's beautiful.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes, that's beautiful.
And I'm very proud. Barrister Nico Halley is a mentor to me, a great father figure, and to me, I learned from his humility. No matter the accomplishments this man has, he's still very down to earth, and I'm proud to be associated to him.
Beautiful.
198 awards.
Goodness.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
No, I just want to commend the effort of distinguished Professor Victor Mbarika for certainly on somebody like Tumfor Barrister Nico Halley that we all know. He's an accomplished lawyer. He's somebody that, of course, he's been mentored to so many, not only within the legal field, but in society. Tumfor is quite morally conscious, and I think that the inspiration that he passed on to yesterday during the graduation ceremony will go a long way to propel the students who are graduating from the ICT University to imbibe those values in them so that they can survive in society. So big congratulations to Professor Victor Mbarika. Of course, he has never disappointed. The first time I saw the former Nigerian Vice President, Senate Vice President, who came to Cameroon as guest speaker at the ICT University, and I'm sure most of his guest speakers have always been men and women of metal. Yeah. It's true that I'm not sure that we have had a woman deliver talk at the
paper. We'll do that next year.
Yes, we cannot be talking about a barrister and there's a barrister on the set. We don't give him. That's in 1 minute, please.
Yeah. No, I think Barrister Sir Tumfor Nico Halley, he is that lawyer, that a senior colleague of mine that has also inspired many young people, has inspired me. Yes. And he has sent down knowledge to the younger generation. He is a monument in our bar.
Thank you so much. Last word, Amala Brooks. Our time is up.
Well, thank you very much, Kenyan. And I just hope that we're going to have a peaceful country, that we're going to have diaspora coming back to Cameroon and investing in many fields.
Thank you so much. We want to thank you equally.
Thank you.
Professor Mbarika, Victor. Yeah. We want to thank you, Barrister Fombat.
You're welcome.
Mujem,
thank you.
Moa Patrick.
Thank you very
much. And especially you, ladies and gentlemen, for whom we are here. Thank you for watching.